We are live. It is Rich Lieberman, the Bay Area Media Pulse. Look, I've talked about this a million times, and now it's reached kind of a level which many of you have inquired to me via social media, via my own spot here on YouTube and my Google website, that you are not too pleased. And look, I am not a fan. I've long ago went away from being a fan of either the Giants or, anybody for that matter. I'm more of an observer now, and I talk about things that have to do with media, whether it's radio, whether it's television, cable, news media, entertainment, culture media, and this post having to do with sports media. So, yet again, John Miller takes off a series. He is, of course, the number one broadcaster, the radio play-by-play guy, occasional television, but mostly radio play-by-play guy. That is when he's not taking off series for the San Francisco Giants. And Miller recently took off about 2.5 weeks because he was tired. That's what he tells people. I don't want to do a full complement of games because I'm tired. That's what he's told people. But he's not too tired to work certain cities. For example, after taking 2.5 weeks off, and as far as I'm concerned, he could take the whole year off. I don't care. I bring it up because this is one of the preeminent franchises in not only baseball, but the entire major league sports. The San Francisco Giants, a legacy franchise that is supposed to be concerned and caring about its broadcast brand, but apparently not on radio. It negotiated with Miller, and Miller said, I only want to work a certain amount of games. Fine, because I'm tired. That's the reason that was given to the Giants broadcast crew. So Miller has taken off in the middle of the season, 2.5 weeks, came back after the All-Star break to work the Giants games in Toronto that they just completed over last weekend. So he wasn't too tired to fly cross country all the way to Toronto to work that series. Mind you, have to go through customs getting out of there to fly back to the Bay Area because he didn't want to go to Atlanta. Okay? But that's not the point of this broadcast here. Again, folks, Miller can take the entire year off as far as I'm concerned. I just kind of find it odd that a guy like that the fans who follow the Giants would not be saying, what the hell is this all about? Because then when Miller takes off the series in Atlanta, you get stuck with the D-listers. It's a domino effect. Because then the other broadcaster, the other guy, Dave Fleming, has to work television. And when Fleming works television, you have an opening on the radio crew. Then you get stuck with incompetent, asshole, cad supreme, and a cliche-driven bore, whom is F.P. Santangelo, one of the worst broadcasters in Major League Baseball, for that matter, any kind of a sport, but FP does the broadcast for the Giants. He's the D-lister. He's the fill-in. He works alongside another, basically, I don't want to say incompetent, because this guy is competent. He's just boring. A guy by the name of Ritzo, who is boring, who is benign. He's god-awful. Now, he's not a cad by all accounts. He's a professional. He shows up and he does the job as best as he can. The fact that he's boring, the fact that he's clearly not a major league broadcaster, it's not his fault because the Giants hired this guy. You get what you pay for. But I'll give Ritzo this. He can at least describe the play-by-play. as benign, as Wonder Bread, as vanilla waferish as he is, and he is, folks, he's boring, but at least he describes the action. FP Santangelo, who was fired by the Washington Nationals. Look it up and look at the reason why. You could do a Google search. I don't want to get into it, but FP Santangelo is a cad. You don't want to meet FC Santangelo, most especially you don't want to be around him when he's working the room, so to speak. And I'll let you investigate that on your own. But that has to do with off mic issues. The guy does not shut up. He is a cliche driven putz who hit about 200 when he was a Major League Baseball player. He proves one thing, and one thing pretty good, or a couple of things actually. You could be just as shitty and awful and lousy as a broadcaster as you can a Major League Baseball hitter. The guy is terrible. Why did the Giants hire him? And he works for the Giants. He was fired by KMBR doing the talk show, the sports talk show. They got rid of him. The Giants hired him because he cried enough to Larry Baer, and Larry Baer is all for giving out second and third chances. And I got no issue with somebody getting a second chance in life after being fired by the Washington Nationals. My issue with Santangelo is the fact that A, he doesn't shut the hell up. B, as a commentator, he is boring. He, as I said, is cliche driven. He doesn't offer anything unique or new. It's all gobbledygook. It's crap. The Mets would not hire this guy. The Dodgers would not hire this guy. As a player, he played for the Montreal Expos, played with the Giants, had a cup of coffee with the A's. But I'm not talking about his playing career, which was mediocre at best. I'm talking about his play off the field as a broadcaster. The guy doesn't offer anything other than he's a professional cad. Look it up. But on the air, he's awful. Awful as a talk show host, awful as a commentator doing color analysis on the baseball broadcast. A D-lister personified, and I'm being very charitable, more like F. I can think of a word that starts with F that rhymes with failure, more like failure. Why do the broadcasters, why do the Giants allow this travesty to take place? Because that's what you get when you pay cheap. That's what you get when you have this guy. Again, doesn't shut up. When they give out the starting lineups, he offers a very banal, benign, boring, incompetent analysis of each player. Rather than give us just the player, where they're batting, the average, that kind of a thing. FP, like fuck please, Santangelo has to give his own little kind of preamble as to what the player is all about, which wouldn't be a bad thing, except he's a D-lister. He's lousy. Sponsors leave in droves because of idiotic, incompetent assholes like FP Santangelo. Now, if he could do a decent job of being the color commentator, then at least he'd be an asshole off the mic with talent. But he doesn't have any talent. And yet they continue to put this asshole on the air. Now, folks, I'm just giving you my opinion. Of course I am. But I'm also giving you the fact that there are a lot of people who are not happy with this. As I said earlier, just not that long ago, Ritzo, as boring as he is, at least he's adequate and he's competent. I'll say that for him. Santangelo is a walking bore, a complete travesty that the Giants are content with, I guess, Why? I guess you need bodies. You need bodies to do various games when your lead horse takes series after series off. Apparently, the Giants are okay with that. John Miller has leverage. The Giants do not. So they're going to allow this to take place. And meanwhile, you, the fans, get stuck. And apparently, you're okay with that. Fine. So be it. I just will always call out Santangelo because he's a colossal bore. I'm Rich Lieberman. This is my show on YouTube. Thanks for watching, and do become a subscriber. Like me here and like me everywhere. And by the way, see you later, alligator.